Presiding Officer, all of us depend on a healthy natural world because nature underpins life. It's not a nice to have, it's essential. But species are being lost today even faster than in any of the previous 5 mass extinctions. And scientists say ecosystems will collapse if we do not stop this biodiversity loss. We must act. It is in this sense of urgency which led us to ensuring protections for our oceans were included in the Butte House Agreement, because what happens in our seas is just as important as our attempts on land to replant, rewild and reverse the destructive impact humans have had on our planet. And the Scottish Government does not stand alone in proposing HPMAs. Let me share with you some quotes from other supporters. Highly protected marine areas are a vital step forward in enabling our ecosystems to thrive, increasing climate resilience and ensuring we have a healthy and productive marine environment for generations to come. That's the Tory Environment Secretary Therese Coffey just earlier this year. But that's England, you may say. Scotland's marine environment is clearly different. Well, here's the Tory manifesto on which Ms Hamilton and her colleagues stood in 2021. Our coastal communities can thrive and grow while we better protect our marine biology. The two are not mutually exclusive. Their manifesto commits to a pilot of highly protected marine areas. And here's Conservative, I don't have the time, I'm sorry. And here's Conservative MSP Peter Chapman in 2020 speaking in this very Parliament. There's no doubt that no-take zones would be beneficial in the long run, and I genuinely think that having more no-take zones would be good, not only for the environment, but for our fishermen. HPMAs are a policy. I don't believe I will get the time back. I apologise to the member. HPMAs are a policy on which all parties were once united across this chamber. But the Tories cannot stand to see Greens in government actually standing up for our values and delivering our commitments to voters, so have pulled a U-turn. They've sacrificed highly protected marine areas for their highly protected Tory vote. The hypocrisy of this motion, which not only calls for the scrapping of their own manifesto commitment, but claims there is no scientific basis or ecological justification for marine protections, which they themselves are rolling out in England, is breathtaking. No-take zones and strict marine protections are not new policies the Scottish Government has thought up, but standard good practice for ocean protection and recovery, with well-established zones across the world in the USA, Australia, New Zealand and the Mediterranean. The EU are currently passing a nature restoration law, which would require at least 10% of European waters to be strictly protected. To claim that this continent-wide move somehow has no scientific backing takes Brexit-fuelled exceptionalism to an astonishing level.
Members, we will not continue shouting across the chamber.
But we have just begun the process of community consultation. We must let that continue and let the genuine concern of local communities be heard, not seek to undermine the real and credible scientific basis which underpins this policy. We need a process for communities to meaningfully input into wider spatial plans for their inshore waters. The Scottish Government is consulting with communities, trying to make this work for everyone with a stake in our sea. It's the Tory politicians who are playing politics, jumping on an oppositional
Thank you, Ms Burgess. I must ask you to conclude at this point. Ms Burgess, thank you. You will conclude your remarks. Ms Burgess, thank you.